Hi everybody, my name is Marcus. Welcome back to my channel, Storytime English. Today we're going to talk about why you must listen. Let's get started. Identify objects around you in English. The first way to stop translating in your head is to identify the objects around you in your target language. If you're studying English, look at the objects around the room and in your life. Don't think of them in your native language first. Think of them in your target language first. For example, if you see a computer, think of the word computer in English, not in your native language. Start with the items and situations in your everyday life. For instance, if you say water in English, try saying omizu in Japanese, associating the words in your target language with your everyday life helps you get familiar with them. Repeat phrases you hear native speakers use. Tip number 2 is to repeat the phrases you hear native speakers use. If you're watching this channel, a TV show, or a movie, listen to how native speakers make those phrases. Phrase you've never heard before or an interesting combination of words, try to repeat them yourself. Don't just listen, try to say them. If you're in a public space and it's difficult to do that, practice in a place where you feel more comfortable. Get your mouth used to saying the words the way native speakers do. If you're only listening and not producing the language, it's hard to improve your pronunciation. Try to repeat after native speakers, especially when you're watching media or reading books. Read out loud interesting lines you find, as it's great practice. Create situations where you can't escape into your native language. Make a situation where you can't escape into your native language. This essentially means immersing yourself. Going to a country where the language is spoken is ideal, but creating an environment in your home where you can't use your native language also works. For example, dedicate an hour or a day where you only use your target language. I did this with Japanese by making friends who couldn't speak English and joining a hobby group where everything was taught in Japanese. This forced me to study and use the language, helping me learn vocabulary and how to use it naturally. Creating such environments, even at home, is very helpful. Watch TV and movies in your target language without subtitles. Tip number 4 is to watch TV and movies in your target language without subtitles. While subtitles can be beneficial, they can also distract you from listening if you've watched a movie with subtitles. On a few times, try watching it without them. Focus on the characters' body language and the words they use. Alternatively, you can turn on closed captions in the target language. This way, you see the words on the screen and hear them at the same time, which can help with comprehension. Experiment with these methods to see what works best. You can bring a dictionary to your lesson. But don't use it or try not to use it in your conversation practice. It destroys the flow of a conversation. Instead, practice the skill of describing the vocabulary, words you want to use, and learn how to ask the meaning of a word or how to ask for a vocabulary word from your partner. You can use an expression like, "What's the word that means ... double quotes?" Or it's this thing that does this and this. This is an opportunity for you to describe the characteristics of something or find a different way to express yourself. You can use your body language and other tools you have. Try not to use a dictionary in a conversation because it's not realistic. Train responses to common questions. Number 6 is a quick one. Train responses to common questions. For example, a very common question in English is, "Hey, how are you?" You should know how to answer this question with a default response like, "Hey, how are you? I'm good." If it takes you a long time to answer such questions, you need to practice. Sometimes I ask students a question like, "How are you?" and they respond slowly, thinking, "Yes, ... I'm good." This is a very common question, so think about default responses you can quickly say, such as "I'm good," "I'm okay," or "not bad." Train responses to these questions to save time and help the conversation move forward. Study with materials that don't provide a translation. The next tip is to study with materials that don't provide a translation if you're using worksheets or textbooks with both your target language and your native language. Try to use materials only in your target language. Simplified explanations in your target language can be more beneficial than translations. This doesn't mean you should never use your native language for studying, but finding materials that provide simplified explanations in your target language can help you think and learn more naturally in that language. This applies to written, audio, and visual materials. Consider the level of vocabulary and the intended audience of the materials you use. Study phrases in addition to single vocabulary words. Another tip is to study phrases in addition to single vocabulary words. Vocabulary is important, but understanding how words are used in phrases helps you grasp their nuances. For example, the word crazy can have different meanings depending on the context. Studying phrases allows you to understand these nuances better. Do your daily activities in English. Try to do your daily activities in your target language. If you're studying English, think about your daily activities in English. This could be anything from cooking breakfast to doing the laundry. By doing this, you might find gaps in your vocabulary or phrases, which you can then fill in by checking a dictionary or asking someone. Use a learner's dictionary for new words. The last tip is to use a learner's dictionary for new words. Learner dictionaries provide simple explanations in the target language, which helps you understand new words without relying on your native language. This can be very useful for building your vocabulary and improving your comprehension. These are 10 tips to help you stop translating in your head. It takes time and practice, but these strategies can help you as you study any language. If you have tried these strategies or have other tips, please let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching this episode of Storytime English, and I will see you again soon. Bye.